Beautiful voice there, beautiful song, music titled Hallelujah. It features Alexandra Beck on this one. And, you know, up until I heard this one, I was always in love with that one from the...
Rufus Wainwright?
No, the Pentatonics.
Oh.
I used to love the one from the Pentatonics until I heard this one from Alexandra Beck. Say again?
You and Pentatonics.
It's just like you and Beyonce. It's just like you and Beyonce. I don't know what Beyonce has done to you.
But the original one is from Rufus Wainwright.
Yeah, I know of that one too. But I'm saying that, I mean, you know, there are, when songs come, people have different versions of it. You know, they do the copy. But I heard that of Pentatonics. I was in love with it. But Alexandra Beck's version is also equally good. You know, I like the video as well.
Yeah,
depicts a lot of, you know, stuff.
Yeah, I think she won American Idol one of the seasons.
Yeah. And he was a favorite of Simon Cowell.
Yeah, Simon
Cowell there in American Got Talent and all that. No, American Idol. Yeah. Okay, so it's now some 90 minutes to hit 8 o'clock. It's still the festive season. A fisher part to each and every one of you out there doing the listening. We're glad that you are alive. We're glad that you are well. We're glad that you've tuned into Love 99.5 FM. Now, we're going to have two conversations in one. Let me put it that way. Two conversations in one. And it has to do with property and life. Now, first of all, statistics and data from the Ghana National Fire Service shows that we have had some reduced number of fires this year, which of course is a good news. And the article that they put out, you know, stipulates that it's because of the sustained education that has brought about that reduction in fire outbreaks. But the reduction is nothing that significant. It's good, but it's not big. I think we can still do better. What is happening when I studied or looked at that data has to do with the fact that when it comes to properties lost, that one shot up in terms of the properties that, you know, got destroyed in a fire. When you quantify it in terms of monetary terms, that figure has gone up. So we'll be breaking it down for you this morning as we talk about fire. And don't forget that the Harmattan is here. I mean, the dry season is here. And so the slightest mistake on our part could generate fire. And if care is not taken, if, you know, it gets out of control, out of hand, then properties and lives will be at stake. DO3, Peter Ade, speaks for the Ghana National Fire Service in the region. He's right here with us in the studios of Love 99.5. DO3, Peter Ade, Afishapa. So what have you been up to?
We have been up to...
You yourself.
No chilling. I was standing by to respond to fires that may arise as a result of the festive seasons. In fact, we wished people a fire-free season.
Yeah.
And it looks like our wishes came through. And
there were no fires this
we had just a few fires. Just a few fires.
So you know when the carpenter gets up and molds a coffin, and the coffin seller selling the coffin, people say, "Oh, to move one person, move a coffin." So fire service person. Also, so I said, "No.
We so that we can also rest."
I hear you.
We put in place a number of strategies to actually prevent the fires from.
We'll talk about that shortly. But again, I've heard this news where people are placing prank calls to the Ghana National Fire Service. Sometimes, you know, saying that, well, they need help, and then they're masturbating. Some of them will tell you that they're making love with their partners, and their partners' private part is on fire. Have you received any such call?
In fact, we receive a lot of prank calls on daily basis. At our regional control, we receive not less than 200.
On a daily basis?
On a daily basis, yes.
No less than 200?
Not less than 200. And
what?
In fact, we've extended invitation to a lot of media houses to come and monitor. You'll be there in 10 minutes. The number of prank calls that you receive will surprise you.
What do you say to those people when they prank you?
In fact, our control room operators have been trained to screen the calls and know the prank calls and those that are real emergencies. So the ones that are prank calls, you don't waste time on them, because if you waste time, there may be a real emergency in the queue. That will result in a delayed response. But so you don't waste time on it. Then you move on to the next.
But what measures are you putting in place to ensure that they are sanctioned, they are punished? That will serve as a deterrent. Because if you let it slide all the time, 200 prank calls a day. Wow. I mean, what are you doing about it?
In fact, we have to all understand that pranking is illegal. You are not supposed to prank any emergency services, because there are a lot of implications when it comes to some of these things. So they are illegal, and there are legal ramifications to some of these things. I'm sure the legal people will be able to throw more light on that bit for us. But as a service, we are educating people. We've had a number of instances where we have chased some people. When I say chase, we've tried
gone after them.
Yes, gone after them to try to prosecute them. Some, because of this, had to relocate.
No, but it's possible. I mean, like when you look at our MCR to my left, the telephone line is a landline, all right, but it is digital. So once you call us, we can tell your number. Is that what you have at your call centers?
Some of them have that facility. For instance, when you come to the region, the last time we were telling that we have a new control room, and that also has a similar function.
So then we should be able to trace the numbers that come and prank you, give it to the appropriate authorities, so the people are apprehended and punished.
Yes. I'm sure the national command is taking the necessary steps to do that.
Well, we'll talk some more shortly. I need to prank you myself.
Why?
People like prank. You don't push. You don't punish people.
David, if you prank us, we will prosecute you.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying you personally.
Okay.
I'll call and prank you. Yeah.
So now I have to be on the lookout.
Oh, you will not catch me. Don't worry. And also with us in the Cities of Love 99.5 is Dr. Emil Tano. Now he's a senior specialist, plastic and reconstructive cleft and hand surgeon at the Kofanochi Teaching Hospital. Dr. Emil Tano, I feel part to you as well.
Yeah, I've converted.
And how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine.
On behalf of myself and Mr. Minta, I say thank you very much, for the work you did for the child. The child unfortunately got injured. Somebody picked a hot iron and placed the child's hand on the iron. So the child's hand got injured and it bent over and all that. It's been like that for years. So Mr. Minta, I met with him, we're having a conversation. And he mentioned this to me. And I said, let me speak to Dr. Emil Tano, sorry. And when I did, he said, David, let the parents come and see me. And fortunately, the child's hand has been operated upon and she's doing very fine right now. In fact, I don't know what is wrong with us as a people. Somebody has a challenge. And instead of we sympathize and empathize with the person, we rather would want to stigmatize the person and despise the person. Yeah. Unfortunately, due to Dr. Tano and his crew, the child is doing fine. So thank you very much, sir.
Okay. You're welcome.
Also with us in the Status of Love 99.5 is Matilda. She's a nurse also with Kofanochi. Matilda, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Also here in the door. So remember, about one for breakfast and bread. Next time. Yeah. So, you also next time. Listeners, when you join us on Facebook this morning, Love in the Morning on Facebook. I know some of you, although today's a working day, I know some of you will still be at home relaxing because yesterday you did so many things, you're tired. Go on to Facebook right now and check us out, Love in the Morning. I just want you to see pictures that we've placed there. Viewer discretion is advised though, but go see pictures of children, some as young as 1, 2, and go and see what has happened to them due to the negligence of their parents and guardians. I'm begging of you, go on to Facebook on Love in the Morning. When you see the pictures, drop any comment at all you want to. Whether you think that the parents ought to be sanctioned and punished, whether you think that you would love to help them in any way, just go to Facebook on Love in the Morning. See the pictures we've placed there and drop comments about it. But let me start off the conversation, with DO3 Peter Ade. You began by saying that you were hoping that we would record less fires during this Yuletide. What was the situation like this Christmas season? We're still in the festive season though. What was the festive season records like?
In fact, what I said was that we actually recorded less fires as compared to previous years. We are still in the festive season, and during that time, there are a lot of people at home. People are on break. The children are on vacation. So the number of activities we actually do at home leads to recording a lot of fires around this time. But this time around, we had just a few fires, about 6 or so on the 24th, 25th, and 26th. We recorded just about 6.
Only 6.
6, yes.
Last year, how many did we record?
Last year, they were over 10, almost 20.
Almost 20.
Around.
Last year, this year it's only 6.
This year is just.
How severe would you say the ones that we recorded are like? How severe are they?
We had 1 domestic, 2 electricity pole fires, 1 bush fire, and I think 1 vehicular fire. So we didn't lose any life as a result of those fires. So it shows the progressive or a reduction, the trend that the fires have taken the whole year. The festive period didn't divert from it. It still continued with that trend. And we want to encourage people to still abide by the safety rules that we give them, so that we can still.
And for our listeners, when you go onto Facebook, I've seen some of you come watch it and just left. Please, when you watch the pictures on Facebook about the kids who have gotten burns, drop comments. What do you make of what you saw or what you've seen on Facebook? What do you make of it? Just let's share and drop a comment there. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on this. The vehicular fire, where did it happen? Around the Coca-Cola area?
That one was before the festive period.
The 22nd?
Yes.
That was on the 22nd. It was on the Saturday.
Yes.
I saw the fire myself. I was driving towards home. It was around 7 p.m. thereabout, and I saw the car on fire. In fact, when they started slow. It gradually became big, and the whole car was consumed by the fire.
That is one of the things we talk about, especially around this period when it is Harmattan. Everything becomes dry, so if any small fire can generate into a big fire. So we have to be very careful when we are working with fire or when we are performing an activity with fire, because the least mistake you do can degenerate into something severe. And when it comes to vehicular fire, because of the fuel lines and all that, they are very flammable substances involved. So within the shortest possible time, it can become a very big fire.
What surprised me with that vehicular fire was that a lot of people were driving. You could tell obviously that the owner of the vehicle didn't have a fire extinguisher. A lot of people on that stretch, including myself, we all did not stop to go and support or assist or help.
That bus fire was actually on Friday.
No, it wasn't a bus. This was a private vehicle.
Okay.
Just on the main Coca-Cola road, when you take a left to Mayanka, I witnessed it. None of us stopped. The few who had even stopped to they were just watching what was happening. Nobody was trying to help. And the fire, like I said, the fire started slowly, gradually, and the whole vehicle was engulfed in fire. I was like, Charlie, property gone. But again, when I asked that question about the fire situation during the Christmas period, we made mention of the fact that we've had only 6 fires, as compared to last year we've had almost 20 fires around the same time. But again, you made mention of the fact that it shows the trend that 2023 we've had less fires.
Yes.
What is the picture like when it comes to general fires in the Ashanti region for the year 2023?
So generally, we have been able to reduce the fires. In fact, per the records we have from 1st January 2023 to 10th December, we had recorded 916 fires.
This year? 916 fires.
916 fires. If you compare that to 2022, same period, we had recorded 1,058 fires. So there's been 142 fires reduction in fires, and that represents 13.42%. So initially we were saying that it's not significant, not too significant, but I beg to differ. This is very, very significant. One fire can cause a lot of damage, a lot of destruction. So to be able to reduce the fires by 142, we've done really well. And it is not only the effort of the fire service, but it is a collective effort. Just like we've been saying, fire safety is a shared responsibility. We have our part to play. The citizenry also have their part to play. It is collective. We've done our bit. They have also done theirs. the media have supported us. We've carried our messages. The local communities, the local assemblies, all of us have done well, and we want to encourage ourselves and to entreat ourselves to continue to do what we are doing, so that the fires will go down. So that we got 916 is
huge.
Still serious. It's still huge.
Yeah.
But you see, even the 916 that we are talking of, somebody did not see one.
Yeah.
And still thinks fire is very far away.
Yeah. Well,
but it is actually very close to us.
Listeners, in a bit we'll delve into the conversation with children who are receiving burns and are being treated at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. We'll do that shortly. But I want you to go onto Facebook on Love in the Morning. See the pictures that we're showing you there. These are children who are supposed to be catered for by guardians and parents. These are children who are supposed to be protected. But unfortunately, due to our negligence, these children have been involved in an accident. And they're going through a lot of pain. It's on Facebook on Love in the Morning. Join us there. And don't just watch the pictures. Drop comments. What comes to mind when you see those pictures? But you think, Peter, in as much as we're excited about the fact that we've reduced the numbers when it comes to fires for the year 2023, per the data we have, the estimated property damage costs has gone up.
Gone very, very up. Very, very high.
It's high, I mean.
Very, very high. Yes.
So it says what? Okay, you have the figures as well. 26,400,000.
That's for 2022. But in 2023, it went up to 226 million 701,206.
What kind of
this has gone up?
What kind of properties are we talking about? Do you have an idea? Can you fathom why the figures have gone up like that?
I think it went up. This fire, the KGTR fire, contributed so much to the figure, and it is actually one of the reasons why it has really gone up. Yes, but you also agree, or yes, bear with me, that the figure for salvage, the cost of salvage or salvaged items has also gone really high. It's moved from 34,231,245 to 370,050,480 cedis. So even though the cost of damage has gone up, we also did very well to also save a lot of items, and that has also actually gone up.
How about injuries, loss of lives? What does the data say?
We recorded 10 injuries under the period under review. 10 injuries. We also lost 9 lives. I'm sure you remember the Apromasi fire incident when 3 lives were lost. We also had another incident at Buakwa in Sunyameye where 3 lives were also lost. So that alone were about 6. And we've had other separate incidents where lives were lost. So in total, we've lost about 9 lives. If you compare that to 2022, we lost 15. So even though we don't want anybody to lose their lives as a result of fire, we don't even want the fires to happen. But we've been able to reduce the number of lives from 15 to 9. From 15
to 9. So at least there's been some positives when it comes to fires in 2023. And you attribute it to a collective efforts where the media has played its role. Individuals out there have also played their role.
Yes.
But DO3 Peter, when you look at the KDT market, are you done with investigations?
We are.
You're done with investigations. What can you share with us your findings?
So, from the reports that I've seen, I understand someone was cooking within the market, and that led to the fire.
That's for the KGT market. The central market also caught fire not long ago.
Yes.
The Dr. Mensah area also caught fire.
Yes.
All in this month of December. I don't know whether that one is also captured, but How far have you gone with investigations as well?
That one is actually underway, and as of now, I cannot put anything out on that particular fire. We had one at Alaba area. That's what you talked about, French Lie. Then we had one at Sofolai. So not Sofolai.
The Central Market?
No, Racecourse. We had a similar one at Racecourse, but that one was due to gas leakage.
When is the gas leakage from where?
From one of the shops there, of the container shops.
So
that led to the fire.
So the bottom line or the concern is that these traders are not supposed to have these equipments, at the, what do you call it, the markets. They're not supposed to be cooking at the markets.
The modern markets have put in place the necessary structures to prevent traders from cooking within their individual shops.
You're talking about the modern market like KJT?
Like KJT.
But this KJT market was as a result of somebody cooking?
Yes. But so you have people who will still want to be stubborn. And even this year, I think somewhere in November, we had somebody trying to heat water with this old heater. KJT. And it nearly led to fire.
Another fire?
It nearly led to fire, yes. It was a near miss.
Ghana for power.
In fact, the heater got bent, and for the intervention of the fire service, would have.
How did the information come to
you? They have these alarm systems also over there. So when it was triggered, and we had the information, so we quickly moved in to stop it from spreading further.
This woman that caused the KJT fire, has she been identified?
Yes, she has.
What has happened to her?
For us at fire service, we prevent and manage undesired fires. The rest is handled by our colleagues.
Colleagues being? Colleagues being?
Our colleagues
being?
The police service.
The police service.
But you see, in Ghana, what somebody can be, it is per the laws we have. It's only when it is established that it is an arson, that is when you can persecute
but
somebody.
If the market rule says don't cook in the market, don't have this or that in the market, you have it in the market, you have already done an illegality, true or false?
Yeah, that's true.
So we can prosecute somebody on that score.
Yes.
Now the person goes on to the second leg and cooks, and as a result of it has generated fire that has destroyed properties. Property, as a taxpayer, my money was used in building. And if we need to repair it, again, as a taxpayer, my money will go into the repairs of it.
Yes.
And you're saying that what? We cannot punish such a person?
Okay, so that will be left with my colleagues at the my colleagues at the police.
In your practice, has anybody ever been sanctioned or punished due to causing such losses?
Yes, that's why I said that per the laws we have, it is when it is established that it is arson, that's when the person can be punished. But if it is due to negligence and stuff, per the laws now, you can't.
Do we need a review of the law in this aspect? Would you suggest that we need a review?
I think so, because people should be punished for what they do.
Because this woman has been left to go scot-free, although she's been identified. Have we quantified the amount of money lost to the creator market? Do we have an idea?
Yes, it is part of the cost of damage that I mentioned. But I want
to single that alone out.
No, I don't have that.
You don't have that breakdown.
Yeah.
So because she's been allowed to go scot-free, somebody else thinks that she can also put on a water heater to heat water or to do whatever it is, that nearly caught fire as well. And she has also gone scot-free.
No, she's been punished. I understand her shop was closed for a number of weeks.
Is that deterrent enough?
In fact, that's it's deterrent, because that's what she get. That's where she gets her daily bread from. So if she's been, her shop has been shut, has been closed for even a week.
But Dave, that lady they said caused the fire.
The creator.
I told you that somebody showed me.
Yeah, that she was pointed out to you some time ago.
Apparently, she started 2 fires when they were at the old place.
So she's done 2 fires already. This is a third one. She's going to continue doing it. Oh no!
From the people who sells with her. They know her. They know I think she's into the KATH, the mats, the plastic mats that
the Muslim spray on.
Yeah, she sells stuff like that. So I was there. I went to visit that lady.
And those are inflammable.
Yeah. And then with her side eye, she was like, she did, like a side note. She said, original. And I was like, who? I said, mommy, we in the shit, I know.
So what I think we need to do, let's encourage other traders. DO3 Peter there. Yes. Let's encourage other traders and let them be aware that if they know somebody has a cylinder at the market, report to the authorities, the market managers. Somebody cooks at the market, report to the authorities. The point is, if we encourage people to report, and then the people are sanctioned, even like you're saying, the shops are closed for like a week or 2 or 3, just for even wanting to cook, not necessarily causing fire. It will then serve as a deterrent. But like Leo said, my minute me and pinpoint, I say, oh, new.
It's just around this side.
And because she was cooking, she's caused a lot of damage
the shop is just
to this beautiful market.
Yeah.
This beautiful market. I'll come back to you, Peter. There, we have more to talk about. But Dr. Emiltano.
Yes.
Let's now talk about the burns.
Yeah.
At the Kofanochi Teaching Hospital.
Yes.
Leo, when I put the pictures on the platform, you said what? You screamed?
Yeah.
What made you scream?
I mean, seeing the bodies of these little children, and I just couldn't imagine the kind of pain they'll be going through. One of the kids, something all is fried. She's female.
Her private part.
Yeah, like I mean, there are not enough words to explain the things that I was saying, on the phone. I mean, look at this kid, the back, the buttocks.
All right, so because we know this is a bit graphic, we have blurred the pictures, Kakra. But even though we've blurred the pictures, you still see the burns and the sores that these little ones have to endure.
Yeah.
So this guy, listen. Join me and Tommy, please put this picture on for me for a while. Let this picture be there for a while. Just pause this picture. And no, go back. Tommy, please go back. Pause that picture for me. And listeners, I've asked Tommy to pause the picture for me because I want you to come and see the pictures we're talking about. I want to speak to that very picture. Leo, how can that child sit? How can that child? This is very child. And let's join us on Love in the Morning on Facebook. Let's analyze this picture alone, for a minute. How can this child sit? How can this child sleep? Because you have to sleep not just on your side, but you sleep on your back.
Yeah.
Worst of it all, if this guy or this child should attend nature, poo-poos, how will this child's buttocks be cleaned? Meanwhile, the mother, whose responsibility is it to ensure that the child is safe, reneged on her responsibility. The father, maybe a baby cry a chubby. And as I said, side chick be hot. See this picture on Facebook, and aside from the fact that the child cannot sit, cannot lay down well, cannot clean the buttocks when he poo-poos, the pain that this child would have to endure.
The pain.
It's on our Facebook page on Love in the Morning. Idea. Doc, how common are these things? The pictures you sent to me, last week were many. It tells me that it's common on a daily basis.
On a daily basis.
They receive prank calls amounting to like 200 prank calls. How many of such cases do you have on a daily basis?
Now, there are many. It's not all the cases that comes to us. This one is like more or less the tip of an iceberg.
The tip?
Yes. Some of the cases can be managed at the district level. Some parents may even refuse to even bring the kid to the hospital because definitely when they come, they will be blamed, But what we have there at Kofanochi is very lamenting. Last time when I called you, I was very...
You're emotional. I mean, doctor called me, last week thereabout and said, listen, David, the kids are home on vacation. The festive season is here. And the number of burns that we are receiving at the facility, we need to educate people. We need to let them know that they need to protect themselves and their children. And you could tell from doctor's voice that Charlie, he was really concerned.
Yeah,
I thought it was just one of those things. Up until he sent me pictures. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
There was one, all the fingers were bent off.
So Tommy, please move on the pictures now. Let's show other pictures on Facebook. Listeners, please, when you see these pictures on Facebook, don't just watch them and just move on. drop a comment or two. What do you think we can do to reduce the numbers of such burns?
And share so that other people
Yeah,
can see it.
share it as well. And then follow us on Love in the Morning. Follow us as well. Doc, these are children. I mean, this one I would say will not be more than 1 year old.
They are children. Most of the time, they are children. Because if you look at the statistic that we have for the past 3 months, we have a total of 55 cases of kids who got burned. Out of 82. Out of 82 for the past 3 months, 55 were children. And you know, majority of those burns, I think that they are attributed to negligence. Sometimes some genuinely things can happen. Accident can happen. But you see, most of those, they are hot liquid burn. They call them scald. Hot liquid. It could be hot soup. It could be hot water. Anything that is hot, you know, and you know our homes, the way we do things. People cook, open fire.
The fruit area.
Yes. And sometimes also they leave responsibility to the children. Oh, go and burn hot water for me. And even the saucepan, the way the saucepans are, most of the time, normally they need to be, the handle, it should be something that is firm or something that cannot really conduct heat.
And some of them crack. No, but not necessarily conducting heat.
Or sometimes they don't even have handles.
Exactly what I was going to say.
They don't even have handles. So when they take it, and you know the level, and sometimes mothers also fail to talk to kids. The child is hungry. The child wants to eat. And the food is ready. Maybe the woman is WhatsApping or doing something. The child also wants to serve himself. And then they end up by pouring the things on them as well. So those hot liquid. Last week we also have 2 cases, very funny ones. A grandmother said that the 2 kids were scratching their anus too much. So she decided to, heal them by pouring hot water. Burning their perineum. 2 kids. Yeah.
So the kids were scratching their buttocks.
He said they are putting their fingers in their anus, they are scratching their buttocks. So she
boiled water?
Yes.
And poured it there?
Yeah. But it happened at home. People flash. And people use water to, even the kids are born, they say they want to, heal them. Yeah, those kind of things. And they end up by sustaining injuries. It's really a problem.
So when the burns occur and they bring the children to the hospital, I know that unfortunately, let's get a lawyer on the phone lines. Unfortunately, some of them will not present us to the hospital. They go do herbal treatment preparations in terms of treating, or maybe do some first aid stuff at home, and then sometimes it goes bad and gets worse. But before we get into those nitty-gritties of the conversation, Dr. Emil, tell me this: when the mothers come to the hospital with such children having gotten such burns, how do they feel? What do they say to you?
Well, sometimes before you get there, as usual, those first people at the emergency or the nurses, they may have dealt with them because the emotion is, most of the time, the emotion is very high.
On the part of the nurses?
Yes, they will tell them. And sometimes they are speechless. They don't defend, they will just keep quiet.
The parents?
They will keep quiet. They are speechless. Because when you feel guilty, what can you do? What amount of excuses can you give to say, I'm sorry? No, there's no amount of excuse.
Matilda, when they come, do you sometimes scold them as mothers who have been just negligent? Do you scold them?
Sometimes you have to, but mostly when they come, they fabricate stories just to hide the person who was around when the incident happened.
What are some of the stories they put across?
I left the child with someone else and went to do something else. They always fabricate stories so that we don't scold them.
How do you know it's fabricated?
When the relatives come around, we go on to ask them what happened. So as time goes on, you get the real story behind what happened. So
when you get the real story, you realize that the mother at the initial stage told you a lie. What do? Do you go back to them and tell them that they told you a lie?
Oh, we used to tell them that the case will be handed over to the police. They come around, apologize, and we educate them on what to do, and also to educate others when they go home to prevent such cases.
Doctor mentioned that sometimes it's negligence on their part because some of them will be WhatsApping. What are some of the other things they do that makes them not be able to attend to their children and then causes these burns on these children, apart from WhatsApping?
I've realized that in most of our home settings, our kitchens are not child-free zones. we send them there to do things on our behalf. That is when they get the injuries. So we should do our best to make our kitchens a child-free zone to prevent.
You would explain that for me shortly by telling me exactly what we need to do in our kitchens and make it a child-free zone. But lawyer Ebodante Benjamin, is on the phone lines. He's with Bentel Angel, legal firm. Ebodante, official part to you.
David, I feel coming.
Trust all is well with you.
And good morning. Everything is fine.
All right, so I sent you some pictures of children who have gotten burns. We've been told that some are as a result of the negligence of their parents and their guidance and all that. First of all, when you saw the pictures, lawyer, how did you feel about it?
Well, I'm sure these are pictures I can't look at again. So these are very serious pictures. Very, very serious pictures.
The conversation that we've had among ourselves, is that, well, if a parent, through his or her own negligence, makes such a thing happen, we can prosecute them. You are the lawyer. Per the laws of this country, of this land, can such parents be prosecuted, and what will be the sanctions? Okay,
so let's understand a few basics with this issue. Now, generally, every parent has a duty and bears a duty under law to ensure that their kids are safe. Now, when the law imposes an obligation on you, you are supposed to act in a certain way. A failure on your part to perform that duty, if it results in some of the things we are seeing, may trigger criminal sanctions, may trigger some criminal prosecutions. And so I will just discuss briefly some of the criminal situations that may come up, but this is not legal advice. Anybody who wants legal advice should consult a lawyer of his choice. But when you look at the law, I think under the Criminal Offences Act, 1960 Act 29, there's a provision about exposing a child to danger. And so the law says that whoever who unlawfully exposes a child to danger or abandons a child under 12 years or exposes the child to any physical or mentally handicapped child to danger, abandons a physically or mentally handicapped child in such a manner as to cause any harm to the child shall be guilty of a misdemeanor. And so right from the word go, there are certain offenses that may have been committed. And so those offenses, that offense is what I just mentioned. Section 71 makes provision for exposing a child to danger. And so there's legal basis to prosecute for some of these issues which are as a result of a parent's negligence or failure to take certain steps. But then again, like I said, if the law imposes an obligation on you to ensure something happens and you fail to do that, you are mostly held liable for it. So let's say, for example, you are supposed as a parent to provide certain necessaries of life to your child, which includes ensuring that the child is also kept safe and all of that. The health and safety of the child is also guaranteed. And then the guardian fails to perform those functions and an injury occurs as a result. You are equally going to be liable for criminal prosecution because then your failure to act, your omission to act has resulted in a certain consequence that the law did not want to occur. And when that happens, there's every basis to prosecute such a person. And so these are generally some of the criminal issues that may come up, which will form basis for a criminal prosecution. And so it's possible. That someone may be prosecuted. And so it's possible that someone may be prosecuted for such an offense.
Let me ask a few questions, lawyer Ebodante Benjamin. First of all, why is it pegged at age 12?
So I think under age 12, generally the law considers kids under age 12 as unable to, although the kids may be smart and all of that, the law still considers them as in a category of an age bracket where they are incapable of doing certain things. So, for example, when a child below the age of 12 commits a criminal offense, the law considers that act as not even constituting an offense because they don't know what they are doing. And so sometimes the basis of these considerations have been that these are kids. They don't really know their left from their right. And so it's possible that they should be given the maximum and reasonable care that every child deserves. And so that's why maybe the law pegged it at age 12. Well, and if you look at it, I mean, at age 12, these days the kids are smarter than their age. But then generally for the average child, still under age 12, they probably don't know some of the consequences of the things they may do. And so maybe that explains the reason why we pegged it at age 12. But then generally it will not detract if the child is even older. The obligation is still imposed on the parent, because then when you look at Section 79, a parent's duty is supposed to ensure that the child is not subjected to any harm of a sort. If you look at the Children's Act, there are provisions against torture and things like that. And sometimes some of these bans and things are as a result of punishment the parents deliberately put the kids through, or sometimes they are as a result of negligence on the part of the parents. And once you commit negligence, there is the civil side and there's also the criminal side. And so under the criminal laws, Section 12 and there's Section 12 and one other section, Section 72. When you put these two provisions together, it can form a basis for a prosecution. Just that it's a misdemeanor. But either way, it's a starting point, because then people get to know that deliberately abandoning your child is an offense, which the law provides punishment for it. And so that may be a form of denunciation where people are told that this is a crime, and so they are asked not to do that. But so, there are provisions.
But when you say it's a misdemeanor, what does that mean? And what sanctions can be applied under a misdemeanor?
A misdemeanor. These are mostly not, in the eyes of the law, very serious offenses. They are offenses that attract a punishment less than 3 years imprisonment. Mostly the maximum prison sentence a person may serve for an offense of misdemeanor is 3 years, 3 years below. And so a parent can get that, or sometimes the court may impose a fine. Some of these provisions sometimes, come with a fine, but you commit an offense of a misdemeanor and you can be prosecuted for it.
I mean, in other jurisdictions, there are occasions where the state or the country can take the child away from you and put the child in another care. I mean, it could be foster, could be whatever. Does that apply here in Ghana as well?
Well, generally, the state has a lot of power to. So the Ghana has a child protection policy under the UN. I think under UNICEF, Ghana is signatory to a few other treaties and things like that. The state, if it considers the safety of a child to be in jeopardy, the state can take certain steps. One of those steps may include, taking the child from this abusive parent, quote and unquote, and then ensuring that the child is in a position where his safety or the child's safety is guaranteed. And so it's possible. I may not refer you to specific provisions mandating the authority, but then the social welfare department, given the specific circumstance of each of these cases, may have a cause to say that, okay, I think this is the right situation where we can now step in and use the authority of the state. You see, generally, the protection of children is also the burden of the state, aside the responsibility imposed on parents. And so there's basis for the social welfare department to step in. It may not necessarily be taking the kid to a foster care home, but it could also be that they will take the child to, let's say, a responsible elderly person, maybe related to the victim or something of a sort, just so that protection that the law provides or the law envisages that parents would give to the kids.
Lawyer, thank you very much. But before you go, we also talked about prank calls to the Ghana National Fire Service, where some people place prank calls to the fire service. Some of them, when they hear the female voice on the other side, then they will start masturbating and making all manner of noises, or will be making love with their partners and say their partner's private part is on fire. Prank calls are illegal in this country. What caution or advice will you want to give to people who would want to prank, the police service or the fire service?
I mean, people should be. If you make a prank call on the fire service institutions, these are people using state resources meant to be dealing with serious issues. And so I think people should just go up and notice that these things are not allowed. And so that when there's a serious issue, when there's a fire incident, because they are used to these prank issues, they may not respond to it as urgent as it's supposed to be. So we just encourage people not to do that. Of course, there is also the criminal prosecutions of such incidents, but people should be careful how they abuse state institutions and state resources. I think I would want to look at it from abuse of state resources and abuse of state institutions with some of these situations. And like you said, you may be prosecuted for it. Even if you don't prosecute, you are not prosecuted for it. You create the situation where these institutions become numb to all of these urgent calls on their services. And they are the reasons why certain people have gotten away with some of these serious issues that would have befallen them. But so the point I want to make is people should be careful. People should avoid some of these things so that we can all live in society in one, and we can enjoy society and enjoy the things that the state provides for the rest of us. But this is not legal advice. Anybody who wants legal advice should consult a lawyer of his choice.
Well, thank you very much.
Maybe a lawyer would have a different opinion about it, but generally it constitutes an offense, David.
Well, like you said, big thank you to you, Ebo Dante, for your time this morning. Right. I wonder why lawyers would always say, this is not an advice I'm giving you. Don't take it from me. Seek legal advice from your own, lawyer and all that. I don't know why. I'll call Ebo after the show and that's why lawyers do this, because they don't want to advertise themselves just like doctors. And then a lot of things also go on. But you've been advised. Don't place prank calls to the Ghana National Fire Service and all that. I mean, let's allow them to do, what they are mandated to do. Matilda, I will come to you shortly so you tell us about what you talk about, what you mean by making the kitchen area, friendly for the children and all. But, Doc, what assistance are you able to give to such children who are going through such terrible, horrible pain?
Yeah, but first, before I go to the assistance we give to those children going through the horrible pain, I want to, raise a little issue on the law and those burns patients. Sometimes it's a dicey situation. We have kids. Kids also need their mothers, especially the mothers or the father near them, so that they can eat or even take the medicine you are giving them. And now we are even understaffed at the hospital. So we also have the family also to come in to support. Now, it's not all the burns that are more or less a non-accidental injury, like molestation. As a result of mention, the child get it. Most of the time are carelessness and so on. So now, if we start taking them to police custodies and so on and so forth, what will be also the fate of that child we are having at the ward? Sometimes they can be in the ward for almost 6 weeks. They are at the ward. And then sometimes one nurse cannot even take care of a child, or even an adult cannot. You need to have parents to come and help lift and so on and so forth. So I think that the legal aspect is there. Even the mother, by the time you discharge the child, go and sin no more, because you not have enough bed to sleep. You can't sleep because the bed is for the child. You will not bath the way you want because people say that the environment is not good for them and so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, they themselves will become ambassadors in the society. They say, when my child got bent and went there, the way I suffered, I don't want to go there. Or when they go home, they will be more conscious. So,
but again, it's all because we live in a country where we have not taken certain things seriously enough. The economy is bad, and therefore these things will happen. The children will suffer, and nothing much will happen. But in certain jurisdictions where the economy is bad, the right social support systems are put in place.
Yeah.
parents will be sanctioned, damn whatever.
Yeah, they are detained. Yeah, they are
the
detained.
state will take care of the child because the child belongs to the state, and so the child is protected by the state. But here in Ghana, like somebody will say, it's inshallah and vibes.
No, you see, no, you know the one last this year we have a case where Erastus Asari don't go reported. The little girl that the stepmother
used the hot water, using the blade to scrape.
The hot water that alleged stolen 2 CDs or something like that. At the end of the day, that woman was dealt with. Yeah, by the police division, domestic division.
She was pregnant at the time, wasn't she?
No, she was She was breastfeeding a child.
She was breastfeeding
a 5-month-old child.
And then she had a 10-year-old child.
Yes, something like that. So that one they dealt with her. But I think that when it comes to those carelessness and so on, that one that we can be dealt. But if there is a molestation, I think that the police can.
How about treatment?
Yeah, the treatment.
How well are you able to assess these kids? Are they able to have full recovery? I mean, run us through the treatment.
No, the recovery depends. You can have a full recovery, but you always have a sequelae. Because at the end of the day, when something cut you, it will never heal like the way.
Get back to the natural state.
Yes, that is it. They will have some form of sequelae, and then psychologically, they are kids. They may go to school. They say, oh, they will not go because they are laughing at them, because their face is this, their face is that, and sometimes you have to bring them back to do surgeries for them where their colleagues are in school. They are still here and so on and so forth. But when it comes to the pain, initially when they come with the pain, we can manage the pain for them. We give them medications to bring the pain down. It's not only the pain. As the wound heal also, they'll be having pruritus, itching. Even they call it post-burn pruritus. The body will be itching them because it's cracking. And then most of them that during the OPD, when we go on OPD at this particular season, those who come for reviews, we tell them to use more Vaseline gauze, Vaseline cream, or they should use a shea butter because shea butter is cheap. Because when the harmattan comes, it's another trouble for them. Okay. The itching become worse.
So with the fresh wounds, then you are still feeling the itch.
Yeah, no. When
you are healing,
when it's healing, yes.
Healing, yeah,
even now, those let's say those that we have for the past 1 week. If it's a superficial burn, but not is healing, but they will still having the itching. So you need to take care of the scar.
Matilda, tell me, these children whose buttocks, backs, hands, thighs are all bent, how are they able to cope? Sitting down, I was talking about wiping the backside when they use the washrooms. I'm talking about sitting down, sleeping, and all that. How are they able to cope?
I think that Matilda can handle. They spend more time with them. So.
It mostly depends on the pain meds. We give the pain meds as prescribed, so that we can do the dressings for them. And some of the kids too, when they see the parents around, they are a bit relaxed. So we combine such things to help them cope with the situations.
Let's talk about the thing you mentioned. That friendly space environment in the kitchen. What goes into it? What should be done?
Okay. For child-free environment, I think we should educate them and also deter them from playing around the kitchen. The kitchen shouldn't be a playing area for kids. We should always encourage them not to do so. And whenever we are placing things at the kitchen, like hot substances, it shouldn't be at the reach of the children. It should be far. And mostly things on the stove should be at the back where they can't reach. And one other important thing, we usually boil water for bathing. It shouldn't be the case. However you boil the water to 100 degrees, or you can't bath with it. So just heat it. Heat it. When you boil it, and in case someone slips, the effect of it will be worse. So let's heat the water and stop boiling water.
Because when you boil it, you mix it with cold water again.
Mix it. So you don't have to boil it to the 100 degrees.
Okay. When the burns, so the kids are still at home, the festive season is still on, we're still cooking and frying and all that. When you have an accident like that at home, what are the initial first aid things that ought to be done? What advice?
I'd like to advise them to stop using the concoctions they've been using. I don't know where they get that education from. Like to use cow dung water from
Hold on.
deep gutters.
They use cow dung.
Yes.
And smear it on the burnt
On
area.
the burnt area.
And then they go to the gutters.
Gutters.
And then
Deep gutters.
Deep gutters and take sufino.
Yes. Not just the water, the debris in it.
And what is wrong with us? I didn't hire.
They claim it suits the pain.
Suits the pain.
That's what they are claiming.
Test
That's what they are claiming.
Research work.
That's what they are claiming.
That is bacteria you are adding to the insults you are adding to the injury, isn't it?
Yes, yes. And that prolongs treatment. So you should
Inshallah,
really...
Dave, now you see why sometimes when we say we should use common sense, that means you know. People have some different type of brain. No?
Listen, this is radio. I nearly said it is stupidity.
Oh, it is. Of course it is.
How can you use where Jimmy?
It is.
Listen, forgive me for my choice of word. It's a full.
So, Dave, you see, what he's saying is true. Because they come, normally the flame burn, those caused by fire, when you go through literature, normally we don't need to bring antibiotics in. Just clean it and then you wrap it with a cloth and you take the child to the hospital.
In cleaning it, what kind of water do you use?
Normally the cold water will worsen it. You need to use.
When you say cold water, let's get this straight. So when you say cold water, you're talking about ice water. It will worsen it.
It will worsen.
So use room temperature, normal.
Yeah, you use the tap water.
Okay.
The water that is coming from the tap.
Okay.
Because if you use the ice water or the water that is cold or ice cube or sort of thing, that means that you are going to worsen the injury. Because normally you want the blood flow to the area that will help the healing. But when you use those ice,
it stops
the blood vessel, they're going to spasm, and then the blood supply there will be bad.
Okay.
But as he's saying, sometimes when they come, cow dung, toothpaste, egg yolk, it's like anything they lay their hand on. And the worst thing, you see those kids, they come and their burns are infected. And sometimes we lose some of them.
You know, the sad thing is that in Ghana, we don't know the essence or the use of the right first aid. Somebody goes to a swimming pool side, doesn't know how to swim or knows how to swim but cannot swim in a deeper feet, gets there, is drowning. We don't even know how to do the CPR, the artificial whatever resuscitation. We don't know how to do it. No, you have an accident. Maybe your neck area, you have a fracture there. You say we don't know anything about first aid. We do things anyhow, and we worsen situations for people.
No, there's something that I think that the media and also the emergency medicine aspect of Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, Kolebo, and so on and so forth, and the Ghana Society of Anesthesiologists, I think that they have to come in to, initiate that basic life support. During the basic life support, all those things you are mentioning, how to take injured person from a car, if somebody is getting drowned, how to rescue the person, how to do the cardiopulmonary resuscitation, those basic things. Even sometimes you go somewhere in Europe, they have those
9-year-old
automated machines.
7-year-old can even do this.
Yeah.
7-year-old.
Yeah.
Dave, there was one incident.
So it's the education. That's what I'm saying. If we educate our people, those basic things, even the position when somebody go into
drowning
or shock, even the position, the recovery position.
Let's take it to the schools. Junior high, senior high, not necessarily come on radio, but let's go take it to the
That's what I'm saying.
We don't take some of these basic things seriously in Ghana.
At G-Roundabout, I was in a car when a car knocked some man down. So I just witnessed it like that. A born team now, people rushed. The car knocked the man and he fell into the gutter. Just the polyclinic wall. He fell into the gutter and people rushed, picked the man from the gutter, put him on the road and tried to let him sit down and pour water on him.
So I first aid.
On Transunion Day, will be a car for what?
Yeah.